was sat in the sauna the other day and it was just myself and this other guy in there. And I can't lie, it was so hot. I wanted to get out, but I made this decision in my mind, being the competitive man I am, sports and everything. I'm not getting out of this sauna until the other guy gets out. And I'm pretty sure he probably made the same decision in his mind as well. So I closed my eyes because I was like, this will help me lock in. And as I closed my eyes, for a moment, I just had this flash of all the things I've achieved in my life so far. And I became so grateful. I thought about how I've grown my TikTok to 170,000 followers. In the last year, reached over 400 million people. All these people around the world in different countries, different pockets of the earth, who've been impacted by the advice I've been giving. I thought about all I've achieved in sport, playing rugby, playing football. I started thinking about how I've got these amazing friends around me, both male and female, all these amazing people in my life. And I just started thinking about all of these other achievements I have. And I'm just 22. And in that moment, I felt amazing. I realized that gratitude is so important. And without gratitude, you're never going to be able to achieve your goals. You see, dissatisfaction is a common trait that allows you to be successful. You're the kind of person who will say, I'm not happy with this. I need to do more. And that's what differentiates the average from the best. Because the average person says, I've done enough, let me rest now. But you'll probably say, let me keep going. Let me push the limits. That's not enough. I still have so much more that I need to achieve. But there's one thing you're missing. Dissatisfaction without gratitude leads to you feeling like a failure. And that's exactly how I felt for a lot of my life. I felt like a failure, even though that was a complete opposite of who I actually was. When you don't think about all the things you've achieved, when you're not grateful, you go through your life waiting for you to achieve this really big end goal. And until you reach that massive end goal, you feel like a loser. But that's not the way you should live your life. There's even a guy in my community, for example. He said, I want to be a millionaire. That was his goal when we had our game plan call. And I was like, great, you can do that. And he said that until he gets that goal, he's not going to feel satisfied with life. And that's where I stopped him. And I told him, do you want to be a millionaire or do you want to actually do the things that you would do as a millionaire? Meaning, do you want to be a millionaire or do you want to be a millionaire so you can give back to your parents? And he said, I want to be a millionaire so I can give back to my parents. And I told him, rather than waiting to be a millionaire and just being depressed all the way up until that point, and then giving back to your parents and now I'm happy again, why don't you start giving back to your parents in whatever extent you can now? Like to whatever extent. So if you would want to buy them a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a G-Wagon, why don't you just start by giving your mum some flowers? Or if you want to take them out to the nicest restaurant in this sky-rise building, why don't you just buy your mum or your dad a coffee? Or take them out to a meal that's more affordable? So you can see here, rather than waiting to get to that end product and then feeling grateful and happy about life, why don't you enjoy life and feel grateful and satisfied at every single checkpoint, every single day? That's much better than being dissatisfied. And that's what you get when you're grateful for life. You realize that every single day can be enjoyed because you have achieved stuff. And if you don't feel like you've achieved stuff, I want you to sit down and actually ask yourself, what have I achieved? What can I be proud of? What have I done in my life? What's taken me a lot of effort? What have I done that other people haven't done? And when you do this exercise, you'll realize that there's a lot to be grateful for, and you shouldn't feel like a loser. Yes, it's good to be dissatisfied because that's what allows you to push further forward and achieve more. But if you're not grateful and you're only dissatisfied, that's just going to lead to you feeling like a loser. So be grateful. And a good way to actually be grateful is to celebrate every win. I feel like a lot of people only celebrate their big wins. I kind of alluded to this. They wait for that massive achievement, and until they achieve that thing, they're dissatisfied with life. But I want you to start celebrating every win, no matter how big or small. For example, I have 170,000 followers on TikTok, but I celebrated every single win when I got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 171,000, 172,000. Like every single thousand, that was a win. It wasn't the huge landmark of 10K to 50K to 100K, but it allowed me to actually feel grateful along the journey. You see, if you wait for the destination to be grateful, you're going to be waiting for a long time. And you never know how long it might take to actually achieve your goal, which is why it doesn't make any sense. It makes more sense to actually enjoy the journey, be grateful along every single step. And the funny thing is, when you're grateful at every single junction, it means you're actually able to achieve more. Not only are you going to enjoy the journey more, but you're going to actually achieve more as well because you have more energy. And when you're grateful, when you feel proud of yourself, there's this energy that you get that you just can't replicate. Now you feel way more motivated and pushed, and you have way more fuel to achieve way more. I've just got from 100, let's say 1K to 2K, and I celebrate it. Now I want to get to 3K way more than me waiting. Okay, let me go from 1K to 10K. And until I get to 10K, I'm not happy with life. I'm going to lock myself away. I'm going to tell all my friends, like, I'm not coming out. I need to lock in. That doesn't make sense. Celebrate every single small win. And another thing you can do as well is actually be around other people who are winning as well and celebrate their wins. And that's something that I only realized recently with my community. When you celebrate other people's wins, it actually makes you want to win more. And it makes you more grateful for your life because you realize, okay, this person's achieving, this person's doing a lot. They're being grateful for what they've achieved. And maybe it's more than what you achieve, or maybe it's less. And it makes you reconsider, like, well, this person's celebrating themselves. Maybe it's not so bad that I celebrate myself as well. And you celebrate your wins, you share them with the other people in the community. They celebrate you, and now you feel amazing. Now you want to share those wins more. Because I think it must be a man thing. Like, we struggle to share our wins. Maybe because we're usually around people who don't have the same mindset as us. So maybe they see us win and they think we're boasting. They think we're being arrogant, you could say. Or maybe they just don't care at all because they have different goals that they want to achieve. And what we say just doesn't align with them in any way. But when you're around people who are like-minded in a community, you find that everyone actually celebrates everything you do. And it just pushes you to achieve more. And it gives you an unlimited amount of fuel because you don't want to be the only guy who's not achieving as well. So definitely join a community. And I have a community where I help, men transform, level up. And if you want to join, the link will be somewhere in the description. But the key here is don't go through your life just being dissatisfied until you achieve this huge, like, North Star goal. Be grateful at every single step of the way. And if you do that, not only will you enjoy the journey so much more, but you're going to achieve so much more, so much faster as well.